Hello and welcome to a Chip Off the Old Block Toys. I'm Jeff, and today we're going to be building set number 60421. This is called a Robot World Roller Coaster, and this is only one in a long line of roller coasters that Lego has done. And this is one of the smaller ones, but it is a roller coaster nonetheless. So I've laid out the pieces. It's time to get started. I am having trouble. For some reason, I cannot get my other camera to work, and I have troubleshooted it, unplugged it, done everything I can, and it just won't work. So we're just going to have to go with what we got here. So apologize for that. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'll try to figure it out between now and the next live stream. That way we'll have both cameras. But like I said, we just got to go with what we have. For those who are here today right now, thank you. And for those who are watching on the replay, thank you as well. I appreciate both of you, both groups. Hello, Trevor. Hello, Miss Chip. How you guys doing today? So, and as I was saying in the beginning, this is the long line of roller coasters. Now, I didn't look them up for pictures or anything, but I could think off the top of my head of a few of them that I own. And the first one that I ever got, what do you call it? Was the red and white one. I think it's just called roller coaster. The one that you could motorize. That was the first one, and that's a very large roller coaster. And the other large one is the loop roller coaster, and I kind of went nuts on that, and I own 3 copies of that. 2 are built, one's still in the box. And let's see. Trevor says, "I'm working today. Rare Sunday work day for me." And he says he has the set and plans on. Awesome. I hope you enjoy it. And here we go. Here's the 2 little minifigures. Oh, I forgot her selfie stick. Let's build that real quick. There was the pirate roller coaster. It was more of a kid's roller coaster. There are 2 Friends series roller coasters. I own both. And let's see. Oh, there's more than that. Oh, I'm totally forgetting about that. The robot 3-in-1 roller coaster. There's that one. There's been quite a few. So anyway, I've got most of them, and the only one I don't have is the I don't have the pirate one that came out probably about 5 years ago. I tried getting it on Bricklink because I didn't get it while it was out, and unfortunately, the guy who had one for sale, he was just ridiculous. The price was okay, but then he wanted $50 for shipping it, and I know it wasn't $50, so that just kind of fell apart, and I didn't do it. So maybe somebody else somewhere will post it, and I'll be able to get it some other time. But I would like to have them all, because like Trevor said, he's going to build an amusement park with this set and the 3-in-1 space roller coaster. That's exactly what I want to do. And here's a little drone here. Okay, looks like next we're going to build the robot. Yeah, me and Miss Chip had a really good day yesterday. We there's the whole entire property's fenced in except for the front yard, and the guy put cattle fencing in, but then the previous owner, I should say, and then the 2 fence gate things are wood, and they were never painted. And so I've already had to replace some of the wood on there last year because it broke, it just rotted. And so in order to keep it from rotting, we went over to Ace Hardware, and at Ace Hardware, we were able to go to the paint counter where they have the stuff that, wasn't tinted right, or whatever they call it, the odds and ends. And they had 2 1-gallon things of fence stain that were mixed up incorrectly, and they were half off. So we got 2 gallons for the price of 1 gallon, and we took the fence off the post, the gate off the post, and we prepped them and took all the hardware off, all that good stuff, and we painted them up. So we now have light gray fences, gates. And I keep calling them fences, they're gates. Anyway, it was nice to be able to do that, and I'm going to move that because it's right in my way. A zoo park, so combo zoo. Oh, that's pretty cool. That would be cool, man. How big is your city, Trevor? Or not how big, but how long have you been working on it? I've got 1,000,001 projects around here that need to be done, and I have to admit, me and Miss Chip had a pretty good talk yesterday. I've tried to hire a contractor. In fact, I've tried to hire 3 different ones, and every single one of them is the same deal. Actually, it's 4. All of them are the same deal. They say they want the money. They say they're going to do it, and they don't come over. I haven't paid any of them anything. I haven't not given them the deposit or anything. I refuse to give them deposits because it's so easy for them to get the money out of me if I don't pay. They just put a lien on my house. So I refuse to do deposits because they usually rip you off. And I've done a deposit once, and the guy never showed up, and that was a couple years ago. In that case, I ended up getting my money back, but it wasn't easy getting it back. So after that, I refuse to give contractors an advance. No one gives me an advance on my paycheck. So anyway, that's me and Miss Chip were talking about, though. This latest contractor is just really aggravating me. He keeps telling me, "Oh, I'm coming over today, coming over today, coming over today," and he never shows. And the thing is, the only thing I don't really, but the only thing I'm not comfortable in doing is the roof repair. And there is a separate company here in town that does roof repairs, and they've done a repair patch job on my roof before, and they were decent. So most likely what's going to end up happening is I'm just going to pay the roofing company to patch up the roof, repair, replace, whatever needs to happen there. And then the rest of the stuff, even though I really don't have the time, I'm just going to make the time and get it done slowly over time. And Trevor says, I've been working on my city for about 4 years. It's been a journey, and I am going to replan it a little bit. I'm looking to build a large table. That's awesome. Are you, what kind of tables are you using? The reason I ask is that my tables are not, they're custom built. And in fact, I got my dad to help me out with that. My dad builds model railroad trains. And so mine is a model railroad. So, and it's lightweight because of that, but it's very sturdy because of that. So anyway, I just wondered if you did something similar. Yeah, right now we're just building a little robot that stands out in front of the thing. So in front of the ride. So nothing too spectacular just yet. And he's pretty simple. How's everyone else's Sunday afternoon going? I do have News of the Weird, because News of the Weird gets published on Sunday. So I got a couple of those stories. In fact, I'm going to start with the one I consider my favorite. And I know you're supposed to say the best for last, but this one is so outrageous it made me chuckle a little bit. So in Wales, this address randomly gets a postcard they weren't expecting. When they checked the postmark date, it was 121 years after it was sent. So of course, nobody in the house from the time it was sent still lives. So they're thinking, what the heck? So they go to the Historical Society. The Historical Society does look up the address. They find it. and the postcard was addressed to a lady named Lydia. And they did find on the census record that there was a girl at the time. She would have been 16 years old, and she lived at that address. So it wasn't a prank. It wasn't anything. It was just a weird oddity that the postcard got delivered 121 years after the fact. And they went to the post office, and the post office has no explanation of how this happened. It just did. And it's pretty typical. No one wants to take responsibility. That's quite the mess up. It took you 121 years. I mean, they call it snail mail, but this gives a whole new definition of snail mail, 121 years to arrive. I just thought it was a really cool story. I have a sister that works for the post office. My uncle retired from the post office. So anyway, that kind of stuff I find interesting. And Trevor says, I've been working on my city for about 4 years. It's been a journey. I'm going to replant. Oh, I read that. I'm sorry. I have an old patio table that was left in my shed, and we moved in. It's 3 foot by 6 foot. I'm planning on going to 8 foot. Hey, that's awesome, man. It was 1903. That is correct. They actually didn't get the date. They just said 121 years, but Mr. Chip did the math. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. There are other stories that happened. There was one in Italy that cracked me up too. It was Rome, and a burglar gets into a guy's house, and he gets trapped by love. And what is it? It's the Gods at 6 o'clock, a retelling of the Iliad from the divine perspective. A 38-year-old burglar saw the book, decided to read the book instead of rob the place. He was there for so long and so into the book, he didn't hear the homeowner get up. The homeowner was able to call the cops. He was arrested, and the author of the book had a good sense of humor when he heard about it. He said he wanted to make sure that the guy was able to finish the book, so he sent him a copy of it in prison. So, yeah, I like these news of the weirds because, they often say that truth is stranger than fiction, and I'll agree with that 100%. I mean, after all, I am married. I'm just kidding. No. Playing around. And by the way, she's sitting right here, right outside of camera, so she can throw something at me if she wants, and you all would see it. So, all right. So now we got one of the feet on here. Let's finish the other foot. Speaking of foots, yesterday while me and Miss Chip were out, we went to the hardware store right before they closed about 7:30 last night. We went past the Subway here in town, and they don't close at 9, but it was completely dark and it was closed up. So I don't know what happened. I was kind of hoping everyone's okay because they've never done that before. They are always open their full hours. So all right, so we got part of the robot down. We got to build some arms and a head, probably. And there was another story, and this was in, I think, Egypt, if I remember right. Let's look here. I'm not seeing the spot. It was Israel. Excuse me. Boy, would I have some people mad at me if they knew I messed that up. So in Israel on August 23rd, a 4-year-old goes in the museum with his parents. And, well, the museum doesn't believe in using very many barriers because they don't want barriers between people and history. And so there was a vase that was a very old vase. They imagined that it was 3,500 years old. And because there was no glass, nothing protecting it. The little kid got away from his parents, picks up the vase, drops it, breaks it, shatters it, and it was one of the few vases from that period that was fully intact before it was broken. And the museum says that they still don't want to change their policy because they don't want anything to get in the way of people understanding history, including barriers. If it was my opinion and it was my stuff, knowing what kids can do, it would definitely be behind glass. But anyway, whatever.
Did the parents have to pay for that?
No, the parents did not have to pay. In fact, there's a quote here. "We will fix the jar and put it back." It doesn't say who it is. Museum head, yes. Inbal Ribbon, if I said his name right. Yep, they're just gonna super glue it and put it back on the shelf. That would not be my that just would not be my thing. There is more news of the weird coming up. News of the weird is just one of my favorite subjects. I know I've mentioned it in other live streams, but I also realize that not everybody watches every live stream. So, or you can't, or whatever. So, this might be a review for you, is what I'm saying. But I've always enjoyed news of the weird. I think me and Miss Chip came across it. I think we were actually in Germany when I ran across that website, and we were in Germany from 2008 to 2011. So, kind of tells you how long it's been. Not as long as the postcard, but long enough. And so, yeah, I get on here every Sunday because that's when he publishes it. It's not my work. It's by a guy by the name of Chuck Shepard who does it. And you are welcome to look up his stuff and, give him the credit where credit's due, like I am. All right, we are almost done with the robot. And, I forgot to mention this. Enzo made me very proud when we were working on the gates yesterday because we had to take them off so the backyard was completely wide open. And Enzo was with us. And, if you guys have followed the channel, you'd know that Enzo was a rescue. And he was obviously abused. And when I first had him, he used to run off on me all the time. I've had him for 2.5 years now. So he, during that 2.5 years, he's gotten to the point where he doesn't even want to run. And we were back there and he kind of just hung out with us the whole entire time. All right. Well, this is cool. On the back, they show you a couple sets that are recently come out. And I can honestly tell you, I have all of them. I did not do a review on these two. But I did do reviews on these two. All right, so let's set this aside since we got it done. And Trevor says, I saw the vase story. The museum actually invited the boy back to repair another broken vase so he can learn the process of pottery restoration. They gave him VIP treatment during the next visit. Well, that's awesome, but I have to say they're bigger people than I am. I don't know if I could do that. I think I'd be pretty upset. But there are different ways of handling things. And I'm glad they made it a positive experience for the kid. All right, so here's the robot. Time to set him aside. And we've got some minifigures to throw together now. I do have a video for tomorrow. already made. Just need to post it, and it's like an overview of the whole entire city. And I will tell you that another thing that it's going to get in the way of doing videos over the next couple of days is that me and Miss Chip plan on driving to Texas, and I will be gone for about a week. So obviously I can't do any videos, live streams during that time. All my equipment will be here. So we're making a run there because there's some stuff that she wants there, and then there's some stuff there that I want here, and it's just way cheaper for the gas to shuttle it back and forth in my truck. It's a lot cheaper. Believe it or not, the gas for there and back is only about a little under $300, and the bed frame that she wants is like $120 plus the shipping. So yeah, it just, yeah, and the other stuff too, going back and forth. So here we go. Here's a couple of figures. So this makes 5. I think there was 8 with this one, 7 or 8. I have it in the description. I just can't remember it right now. All right. Let's try another story here because these are good. Okay, unclear on the concept. These are always my favorites because, yeah. A groundhog made headlines in Hollidaysburg, Pennsylvania, about an hour from Puxawani, where they do the thing, where they have the groundhog every once a year. But it was not famous because it predicted the weather this time. Fun seekers playing the claw machine at a local arcade realized that one of the stuffed animals was blinking back at them on August 14th. The manager, Lynn Castle of the Meadows Frozen Custard and Mini Golf, isn't sure how the critter got in, but said it almost took an army to release the rodent. Employees contacted the machine's owner, who passed the buck to the police department, who called the Pennsylvania Game Commission. The game wardens were able to open the machine and set the rodent, dubbed Colonel Custard, free in a nearby field. Castle and the Meadows wasted no time capitalizing on the incident, making T-shirts that read "Respect the Groundhog" and naming a frozen treat flavor after their furry visitor. It is a good story that ended well, Castle said. He got set free and no one got bit. Okay. Again, I think I would just panic if that would happen to me. But yeah, people have different ways of handling things, and my way is not the best way. I would scare the crap out of me, man. Can you imagine going up to a machine, putting a couple quarters in, expecting to grab something, the claw grabs the wrong thing, and it's trying to come after you?
Alive! It's alive!
Yeah, it's like Frankenstein. It's alive.
You named it Mr. Custard?
Custard.
Custard. Oh.
And I don't know if you guys have seen Young Frankenstein with Gene Wilder in it. Gene Wilder was actually one of my favorite actors, and man, he's been gone for a while now. I think he passed away in 2016, so he's been dead like 8 years. It's really weird about the camera issue here because it's not working, like as far as connecting to my laptop, but if I have it like out in the shop doing the Lego stuff, like the Lego City, it works just fine. It tapes just fine. It replays just fine. Everything's fine. So I wonder if there's like some setting in my laptop that just went haywire because of an update or something. I don't know. These updates are not. Trust me, I worked at a company where we had updates done by Oracle, and they're supposed to thoroughly test it before they put out their quarterly updates. And I'm going to tell you right now, they don't. They just rather throw it in there and go, oh, there's problems. Oh, okay, let's fix it on the fly, which is even better, because when you're fixing it underneath the pressure like that, usually what it means is that you're breaking more things than you're fixing.
Maybe that's their way of job security.
It probably is job security. Hey, John, how you doing, by the way? John says, here, had to run an errand. Nothing wrong with that, John. How is your Sunday going, John? And I am sorry about the table shaking, but I can't get the other camera to work. So every time I press down pieces, the table shakes a little bit. Well, I put a Bricklink order in because I needed some more arches and stuff for my city. And oh my gosh, the guy took 4 days to send me an invoice, which is far too long. Anyway, he did send me the invoice. I paid it last night. And then I got a message today saying that it's been shipped, which I don't know how because the post office is closed today. And according to Bricklink, you're not supposed to have it shipped until the post office has it in their possession. So, I mean, I know there's those little drop things, but anyway, there's a lot of sellers on Bricklink that'll say it's shipped and it'll sit in their house for a few days before the post office scans it and says they got it. And because I ship things all the time, I know that if I drop it off, literally, if I drop it off like right now, and let's say the post office was open, they scan it, give me a receipt. I come home and check the tracking number. It will say right away that the item has been accepted by the post office. So I know how it works. So I know people like to, well, I dropped it off. No, you didn't. No. So I'm hoping it's not one of those cases because I really need the pieces, man. I want to get this done. Let's see. Trevor, I use a different, so it depends. Sometimes I use OBS, Open Broadcast software, which it worked decently, but it is free, so you get what you pay for sometimes. The other one that I do is I use StreamYard. StreamYard does have a free version of it. I don't do the free version. I actually pay for it because it allows more opportunities and more features if you pay for it. So I pay, and it's $400 a year. It is kind of expensive, but it's definitely, in my opinion, worth it. My camera, I use a Sony 4K. I can't really see the model number from here, but it's just a regular old camcorder. And it's cost me like $800. And I do have a separate, it's KOAH, what do you call it? Microphone that it attaches to the top separately. And I don't recommend using the regular microphone It is not that good at picking up stuff. I learned that the hard way. Okay. And doing live streams, honestly, I find them fun. Sometimes they don't go the way you want, but most of the time they're all right, man. And I've met a couple good people through doing live streams, you included. All right, John, I've known John for years, so he doesn't count. I'm just kidding. Yeah, I know. I have, honestly though, John and I have been friends for probably 15 years or so, probably longer. So yeah, and I've only been doing this for about 4. So okay, my least favorite thing: stickers. All right, we're going to do another News of the Weird here. And this one has called... Oh, okay. This is some adult material here, so fair warning. This happened in Thailand, and I do not even want to try to pronounce this guy's name, so sorry. I'm just going to call him Bill. How's that? Because I can't. Bill recently had a bathroom break that was, well, nuts. On August 22nd, what started as a routine trip to the washroom ended up with Bill killing the python that had bitten his testicles. I felt something biting my balls, which was very painful, so I put my hands in, he said. After whacking the reptile on the head with a toilet brush until it died, it released its grip. Bill headed to the hospital for a tetanus shot. The doctor assured him his injury wasn't that bad, as it wasn't that deep, and no stitches would be required. Perhaps he should count himself lucky, all things considered, because pythons are known for suffocating and squeezing their prey to death. And I would agree. Being a man, that's not... none of that sounds fun, but... what's even better, honestly, is the fact that he didn't have to have stitches, because I'm not one who cries that much, but I think I would cry like a little girl if the doctor had come up to me with the needle and said we needed to do some stitches here. So, boy, that's a story to tell.
How did they get in the toilet?
It's Thailand. Who knows? I don't know. It doesn't. The article doesn't really go into that detail, but I mean, I could try to pronounce his name, and it looks like it's Thanet Thangtuwanan. I butchered that, and I know I butchered that. Probably 13 grammatical errors on that, but that's what it says. You know, hey. Trevor says I have a microphone and soundboard that still works for my voiceover days. Hey, man, if it works, it works. Give it a try. It's always my advice. Give it a try. I like to listen to the Fat Electrician, and his saying is, it's never a war crime the first time it happens. And this isn't a war crime at all, but I'm just sound a silly joke. All right, so we got a Slurpee looking machine right here. Oh, that's right. See, I keep thinking I'm using the other camera. Here's a Slurpee machine right here. Oh, gee, I didn't do that right. Oh, boy. Just made my problems worse. There we go. And yes, Mrs. Chip is here. Watch Delta Force, the movie that would not be made today. I'd never seen that movie, but there are quite a few movies like that anymore that you just couldn't make today. And as I've discussed in other videos, Blazing Saddles is actually perhaps one of my favorite movies that could not be made today. Oh, Chuck Norris and Lee Marvin. Okay. know. I think I've mentioned this before, but I can't remember what I mentioned and where I talked about it. But Mrs. Chip being in the military, they love their Chuck Norris jokes. So whenever I come across Chuck Norris jokes, I send them to Mrs. Chip. They can come as single jokes. They can come as, what do you call it? Those reels where they've got 10 or so jokes. I just like sending them. I'll be right back. I'm going to grab my drink. All right. Let's see. Mr. Chip, how did your Lego sorting go yesterday? Oh yeah, I forgot about that. So I did a live stream a few days ago where I started sorting the pieces to the custom Avengers Tower. The Avengers Tower, if I can talk. Oh my gosh, I don't know what the heck's wrong with me. Miss Chip says, how much time you got? She'll let me know what's wrong with me. All right, well, no. On a more serious note, I think a lot of the reason that the build's taking me so long is, number one, I don't have much time to do it. And number two, when I do it, the pieces were scattered everywhere. In fact, they were literally on 5 different tables. And they were not organized by type of part, color, anything. And so when building it, there was a lot of hunting that went on to make it happen. So what I did was I was kind of thinking about it. I was out in my shop and I was like, well, wait a minute. When I build my other stuff, it's always organized in the cabinets by color and then by part alphabetically. So in other words, black would be first, and then like the antennas would be first within the color of black, and then so on and so forth. Like even blue antennas would be first. So anyway, I got thinking about it. I'm like, well, that's what helps me build so fast. So why am I not doing that with the Avengers Tower? So that's what I did. I grabbed some cabinets, and it took 3, 6. How many is that? 3, 6, 9. Took 11 cabinets, but it only sits on 2 tables, and it's all organized alphabetically. And so that took almost. Well, we did the painting yesterday. But it took the majority of the day, because what we did is we prepped, we painted, we came in the house, let it dry, put a second coat on it, and then went back out there later and hung the doors again, and then put the hardware back on and all that stuff. So anyway, that the prep work for prep work. Pieces are all done now. They're all organized. So I will try to get, like I said, I'm going to Texas this coming week. So I doubt I'll have time to do a video on that, but I will try to get a video on the Avengers Tower as soon as I get back. And Brickmania Trevor, and I don't know why I can't talk today. It's probably because Miss Chip's here. She's making me nervous. Anyway, yeah, she's laughing over there. I ain't picking on her, and I actually, thank goodness, no one has said anything in the comments. But I was expecting people to be like, "Oh, you're so mean to her." I'm not. It's just the way we are with each other. So, anyway, yeah, she was laughing over there. Let's see. Oh wow! So I'm hoping to get a Avengers Tower video out as soon as I get back, and I'm also looking forward to doing the city, because by the time I get back, I should have my package should be here with the arches and stuff that I need. I need more than arches. I need a couple hinges. I need a couple other things, but I went ahead and ordered everything I needed, and thank goodness. It was only like $50 So, and when you're collecting, I don't mean to sound like a snob, but when you're collecting Legos, a $60 order is not, it's not that expensive. And for those who, even if you don't purchase from me, I just like telling you guys what's going on. I'm very pleased. I've had a decent weekend with Bricklink sales, so that's going to help me with building more things and putting the city together. So thank you for that. If you're one of those people that bought from me. That was weird. It's kind of a weird placement, but it does work. How they have it off center there, right here. It's off center but centered, if you know what I mean. Well, 250 sets are crazy. Well, no, this was the new 4K disc remaster. Next will be Invasion USA. All right. Well, I don't think I've seen that one either. Am I just behind the times? Miss Chip says, nope, you're just a behind. Well, thanks, Miss Chip. See, she's saying this stuff low enough so you guys can't hear it, but I can hear it. And maybe you can hear her, and I don't know. I don't know what it sounds like to you, but I surely hear it. What in the fudge popsicles? All right, here. We got to fix this up. This is not what it's all cracked up to be. All right. All right, so we've got this ring here. Oh, Red Dawn. That I love Red Dawn. That was a really good movie. And it looks like Red Dawn's happening in real life. Anyone ever heard of Ukraine against Russia? Anyway, sorry, that was a bad jab. And not that I really want to debate this, but I kind of wonder, like, when the Iraq War happened when I was in high school, like the media just couldn't wait to report on it, and like we knew everything. In fact, there were times that I was like, the media needs to shut up. If the enemy's watching this, they're going to know everything that's going on. But I've noticed that with this Ukraine thing, that there isn't near as much publicity as there was about other conflicts that we've had. So, yeah, I'm not sure. I wish they would do more. I'd like to know more about what's going on there. There we go. There is a Ukrainian tank unit that calls themselves the Wolverines. That's pretty cool. I actually like that. Most of my news updates that I'm getting about Ukraine are from YouTubers, which I don't know how accurate it is. Of course, I don't know how accurate it is when a news story comes out with the regular media. So I don't know if that's much of a consolation prize, but I just wish there was more reporting about it because I'd really genuinely like to know how it's going over there. I mean, I do think it's slightly embarrassing that, no more than slightly, but I mean, Russia's got this huge army, all this equipment, and you'd think that they literally could just go in there and overrun the place if they really wanted to. But yet, this conflict's been raging on for 2 years now, and it, at first I would almost say Ukraine looked like it was losing, but now it's like they've invaded Russia twice now, and they've gained ground. That must be super embarrassing. You got this world superpower that can't even drive out a small enemy like that. And I love what the Ukrainians are doing with the drones. The original Red Dawn is a great movie. The remake, not so. I've never even seen the remake. Huh? Who's in the remake? And do you know what year it was made? Let's go ahead and grab. We're on another bag here, so let's grab the pieces. Yeah, war has changed. It definitely has. In fact, I was watching, and see, I don't know how true this is, so I'm just telling you what I heard. I'm not a news agency. I don't have a way of verifying any of this, so take it with a grain of salt. But I was watching this YouTuber, and he was talking about the Ukraine war, and he was saying that even our main Abrams battle tank has not held up. They've put it out. They gave Ukraine like 16 of them, and like 9 of them were lost to drone attacks from Russia. So I guess these drones are really tearing it up. Looks like this is supposed to be Space Invaders, the old arcade game. It was 2000s. I think I never saw the remake. Yeah, like I said, I didn't even know there was a remake until Trevor mentioned it. But I mean, yeah. Did I do something wrong? Because it's not like snapping. Oh, there it goes. Let's see. 2012, Chris Hemsworth and Josh Peck. Okay. Okay. And John's saying that the Polaris Dawn, God, I can't even read. Astronauts splashed down this morning at 3 a.m. All right, so here's the little arcade game. Let's place that. Oh, cool. We're going to have a driving arcade game now. Spy Hunter. Yeah, I remember Spy Hunter as a video game. I used to play that too. I always like that music when you push the button for the truck to come pick you up, and yeah. And I remember the old arcade game Pole Position, the old racing game. Of course, if they came out with a game today called Pole Position, it'd be something totally different. I couldn't mention in front of kids. Mrs. Ship is just shaking her head. The arcade in the set looks like the Friends Roller Disco Arcade. All right. Okay, so this looks like it says Chase on the side, and it looks like Tron. Kind of. The blue wheels. And I you know what? Tron was a really good movie. And then I used to play this game. It was a video game called Tron Deadly Discs, and it was on the Intellivision 2. God dang, I just aged myself. I still have my Intellivision 2. I know exactly where it's at. It's downstairs in the basement in a box. There's nothing wrong with that. I have a friend's roller disco set just because I wanted to build a retro, and that's awesome. I've got some friend sets too, and some of them are just because I wanted them, and other ones are just because my granddaughter likes them. But either way, I mean, the friends comes up has a bunch of good, cool colors and stuff. So I mean, if you're planning on buying them and parting them out, there's nothing wrong. I mean, even if you want to keep them complete, there's nothing wrong with that. John says they have the arcade up Tron with both games. Awesome. Yeah, I played Tron Deadly Discs. I don't know how many. Oh my gosh, I used to get good. I was good at that game too. And John, Trevor says, I wished I still had my Coal Vision. Yeah, that was cool too, man. Commodore 64, the Atari. Yeah. Growing up in the 80s was awesome. And John says, I love the old vector graphic games. Yeah. Yeah, I remember those too, man. And I'm not a fan of the Friends doll. However, the new Wednesday set looks good. You know, I really do like the new Wednesday set as well. The little rooftop of the Haunted Mansion or whatever. But that's the only thing I don't like about it is I wish they would have done more than just the rooftop. I mean, obviously it would have been way more expensive, but yeah, I was looking at buying that the other day or pre-ordering it. And I was like, I'm gonna wait for it to come out and see if I have the money, but that one looked pretty good too. And I know Mrs. Chip didn't see it, but she's sitting right here, so she's going to hear this. They did the Brickheads of Wednesday from the Addams Family. I can't remember who else is in that, but there's 2 Brickheads in one set.
Oh, cool.
So I know what Mrs. Chip's going to want for Christmas. No, I'm just kidding. She probably won't want it for Christmas, but yeah, I mean, she collects Brickheads. I've corrupted her that way. Oh, what was that? She says, no, you didn't. I was already prepped before you met me. Yeah, I knew it. No, she didn't say that. But you guys don't know what she says because I can make up anything.
You're not wrong.
She's over there laughing, though. Okay. Thanks. That's the Star Wars 1982 game. Tempest, games like that. Tron. Yeah, I remember the Star Wars 1982 game. And I don't remember. I think it was just called X-Wing. Because my parents bought our first family computer when I was 12. And it came with some preloaded games on there. And I remember one of them was a Star Wars game. And it was an X-Wing game. And the graphics were absolutely horrible. I think the X-Wing was just an X, like the letter X or something. It was really stupid. And you went down this trench, and it was so easy to to push the space bar at the right moment, and it showed something blowing up the Death Star, and it was so cheesy. But you know something, man, back when I was a kid and I played it though, I didn't think it was cheesy. It was Star Wars. I mean, even though it was like the worst graphics and everything, it was Star Wars. It didn't matter. And now I look at it and I'm like, oh gosh, it doesn't even look like Star Wars. But anyway, it's amazing how when technology changes over time, so is our expectations. Okay. Well, that's not even, oh, that's why, because I didn't do it right. Okay, let's do that. And I've got a bone to pick with AT&T when I get off here. They're my cell phone provider. And my daughter asked for permission to upgrade her phone. And they said it was only $20 to upgrade her phone. And then they sent me an email later on saying, oh, well, you know, you made some changes to your account. Here's a preview of your next bill. And the next bill is a little more expensive, and I expected that because you make changes. But what I wasn't expecting was the fact that it says my ongoing bill is going to be $70 more a month than what it was. They specifically told my daughter that the bill was only going to be $20 more for the phone. And I looked at it carefully, and they decided to add, without asking her or me, their $50 a month insurance plan on all the phones. And I don't ever buy the insurance. And the reason I don't is because in all the years that we've had cell phones, the insurance is $50 a month. And at $50 a month, it's something like $7,000, $8,000. I would have paid for the insurance the whole entire time that I've had the plan. Well, we've only lost one cell phone once over all those years. And so what, they would have given me a couple $100 to pay for a phone minus $100, $200 deductible, whatever it is. And I paid $8,000. No, I don't want it. But they put it on there. So I got to call and chew them out and say, hey, look, take that crap off there. Okay, so we got some advertisements here and here. That was just fun. It's up on my channel. That's cool. Oh, wow, I missed quite a few comments. Trevor says, I remember when our Atari set fire when I was a kid. My parents decided to get us an NES. I remember the NES. Yeah, actually, in high school, I decided I was done with my NES. And I gave it to my nephew, who's 15 years younger than me. So he was too young to play it, but I gave it to him. And my sister kept it for him. And he ended up started to play it when he got old enough. And now, all these years later, he's had it refurbished at least once. And anyway, it's really cool. Okay, where are we at? There we are. Okay, we got another bag in the bag. And hello, Suzanne. How you doing? And Mrs. Chip just stepped away, Suzanne, but she's going to be coming back, I'm pretty sure. How's your day going? My day's been going really good, actually. All right, so we're on bag number 6. And I do apologize. One of my cameras, for whatever reason, just will not work today. So, and Suzanne says, just waking up not well at the moment. I'm sorry to hear that. Well, if it makes you feel any better, I woke up this morning and I was up for a couple hours and I went back to bed. It's only 11 o'clock and I've already taken a 2-hour nap. Let's see. John says it was just fun. It's up on my channel. Okay. I'll take a look, John. Oh boy, I didn't do that right. John says he may watch the Horizon movie with Costner. Dances with Wolves guy. Mrs. Chip is back, by the way. She's ready here to poke fun and make fun of me. Miss Chip says that the build is moving along. Like I said, I'm a little behind on the comments. I've jumped around a little bit. I'm going to have to get going. Have a great build. Oh, thank you, Trevor. It was good to see you. Thanks for being here for as long as you were. Enjoy the rest of your day at work. And I've read those comments. Good morning, Suzanne. Yeah, the cabinet has all 3 games. Cool, man. We've got a few more bags. This build is not going as fast as some of my other builds. Usually I'm a pretty quick builder, but let's see. I think me and Miss Chip, after talking, like I said, I think we've accepted the fact that the contractor's not serious about earning money, and we're just going to have to, or more like I'm going to have to do the work. And I'm not crying about it. It will take away from my time to make videos, though. And I need to get some of this stuff done before winter sets in. So I'm just going to pick a couple things and do a little bit each day till I'm done. Yeah, this contractor has been pretty horrible. I've talked to him and he keeps telling me, yeah, I'm coming over today. And speaking of contractors, how bad they are in this town. I had another contractor that I paid to waterproof the shop over a year ago. And when he came over, he supposedly forgot the strips that go underneath the garage doors to keep the water from coming in underneath that. And he kept telling me, oh, I'm coming over to do it. I'm coming over to do it. And never comes over. And a couple times I ran into him at the hardware store here in town. And last time I ran into him, oh, yeah, well, not the last time, but one of the times I ran into him. Yeah, I'll be over this week and I'll take care of that. I'll put it on. And then he gets a hold of me the day of. Oh, well, apparently, I don't know what happened to the garage door strips I bought for your project. So I'll have to go get it next time I go to town. Okay, cool. Should be a couple days, right? Yeah, it'll be within a week. Nope, it's been 3 weeks. And yesterday I ran into him at the place, at the hardware store, and he's like, well, maybe I should just give you a refund at this point. It's like, dude, just get your butt over here and do it. How's that for an answer? I mean, geez, it needs to be done. Just get it done. So, yeah, I'm a little perturbed with the contractors in this area. And this guy here, the other contractor I've been trying to use, he keeps promising me he'll get his butt over here, and he just doesn't. And to be honest with you, I'm sick of it because this work needs to be done. The roof repair is the one that I'm really worried about because if it doesn't get done before winter, a lot of these roofing people don't like getting on the roof when there's ice up there, and I don't want them up there either for my liability sake. So, but I'm gonna have some leaks come wintertime if that's not fixed. I've got a section about probably, I want to say like 8 by 10 foot that just needs to be replaced. There's no getting around it. Just what did I do wrong? All right, there we go. And then I've got another, I got a couple more stories I could tell you. Let's get to one of them. This one is kind of stupid, but well, it is news of the weird. You're in trouble. Some people yell, throw things, or shut down when they get mad, but not Dr. Giovanni Balla. According to our court records in St. Petersburg, Florida, on 2 separate occasions, the good doctor expressed his ire with Dr. Dylan Dinesh by dousing the latter's office doors in gallons of fluid that smells suspiciously like urine. As the Smoking Gun reports, court document says the liquid soaked into the front doors, the wooden doors, causing irreparable damage. Dinesh's practice suffered a $6,000 worth of losses in addition to $1,500 to replace the doors. Balla was arrested and charged with felony count of criminal mischief, but released after paying a $5,000 bond. But perhaps unsurprisingly, Balla hasn't exactly had a clean rap sheet. In 2003, he was fined $10,000 and reprimanded by the Board of Medicine for a number of standard of care violations, including improperly prescribing medication for a telehealth client that he never physically examined. His license is set to expire in January of 2025. I don't think I'd be seeing that doctor. And there's another medical story in there too, so we'll do that one. I read all these beforehand, and we'll get to the other story. There's a doctor being sued for malpractice. Hey, Greg, how's it going? All right, missed a few comments while I was reading that. John says, "Oh dear, I hear you. This plumber's got COVID, so yeah, he went MIA only to come here, knowing full well his damn wife now has COVID. So yeah, bring all the COVID to the sick lady. Oh man, no." Yeah, I didn't realize you were on oxygen, Suzanne. I'm on oxygen when I sleep. My oxygen levels fall to an unacceptable level when I sleep. So it's not any fun, and I know you know that. And yeah, I don't want to see you get sick from COVID, man. And John put a link in there. The first arcade room. Okay. And Greg says hello. Hello, Greg. Yo, Greg, jump on. Well, if he wants a link, just let me know. We are on bag 6 of 9, I believe. Not 69 bag, 6 of 9. Most days I'm bedbound. Sorry to hear that. Oh, all right. Well, you know what? Here we go. I'm going to do this story I told you about. William Bryan, 70 years old, died during a splenectomy at Ascension Sacred Heart Emerald Coast Hospital in Walton County, Alabama, on August the 21st. USA Today reports that Bryan's family has filed a lawsuit against the hospital, alleging that the surgeon, Thomas, who was supposed to remove Bryan's spleen, instead removed his liver, causing massive blood loss and killing Bryan. After the fatal procedure, the pathologist identified tissue from the removed patient and confirmed it was his liver. The hospital issued a statement saying, "Our leadership team is performing a thorough investigation into the event." Gee, yeah, maybe they should. My goodness, that is just sad. I can't imagine my dad going in for a procedure and they remove a vital organ and it kills him. I'm sorry, but look, I'm no doctor or anything, but look, I've taken anatomy classes with cadavers, and I can surely attest that the spleen looks completely different than the liver. That's my limited medical knowledge. I don't know how you make a mistake like that. Of course, too tired? Maybe, but if you're too tired, I think you should reschedule your surgeries rather than try to do them. I mean, I just really can't. That would be just really heartbreaking, being a family member and you think he's going through a procedure that should be okay, and you'll be talking to him after he comes out, and well, he never comes out, at least alive. See, John, that's the beauty of my story. I got to tell you, I was supposed to take a regular anatomy class, and I needed it for my major. Well, I needed a science class, and I signed up too late. And if I was going to get into that class that semester, I had to take the anatomy class that was meant for nursing students, so it was more involved. And so that particular one, because it was for nursing students, they did use cadavers. It was actually kind of cool. And plus, not that Mrs. Chip's listening, but there were some cute nursing students in there too. Female nursing students. This was many years ago, though.
He hasn't changed a bit.
Oh, be quiet. Greg says, "How's Enzo and Jenny?" Well, Jenny's doing well. She's sitting right here. And in fact, I don't know if she wants to pull up a chair or anything, or she's just content sitting there. But she's sitting right over here listening and making comments, kind of like the Muppets and those two old guys in the balcony. And Enzo, he's doing pretty good, actually. He's taken to Jenny quite a bit. So I'm actually very pleased at his progress, because he has never really liked women. And I think that's because a woman's who abused him. I don't have any proof of that, because you can't ask a dog. You can't say, "Yo, what's up?" Come on, Enzo, come here. Come on. He's got to stretch, everybody. Priorities. Hi. Sit. Come on. Don't hit your head. He is a goofball. The other day, he ran right into the back door. Oh, okay. There you go. Head first.
There he is.
Oh, yeah, he's here. You know who he reminds me of with his nose? You guys ever seen the movie Open Season? And the bear Boog. He reminds me of the bear Boog. Okay. So we've got a minifigure to do. Max is doing just fine. He is really enjoying Mrs. Chip being here. Mrs. Chip's always kind of been one of his favorites. Oh, sorry, I forgot to show you guys this guy. Here we go. Let's see. Well, what's interesting about that class, John, is that they kept the cadavers in a it was like a metal like casket that was cold, and they lowered. It had like a crank on the side, and you can this like metal slab like got lifted up, and the bodies were okay when you first opened them, but by the end of the class they started smelling a little bit, and that's because they warmed up. And it was a really interesting class. I really learned far more about the human body than I ever thought I would, and that's mainly because it was more of an in-depth class than the regular anatomy class. And I still remember stupid things sometimes, like the little notch you have right in your forehead. I know you guys can't see that, but we all have it, and it's where a nerve goes through, and it's called the suborbital notch. Why do I remember that? I don't know, but I remember stuff like that every now and again. Just randomly, someone in conversation, I'll see something. It's like, oh, that's that body part. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, that really helps the conversation. Let's see. That's what class action lawsuits are for. Very good at memorizing long names and huge textbooks. You know, I'll admit, I kind of cheated on one of my exams, anatomy class. I didn't mean to. I'll tell you the full story. Okay. We were taking the test, and the teacher, the professor, whatever, had a drawing of the human body, of the muscles, and she put a piece of paper over the edge of it. And I didn't know. She didn't tell us not to look underneath the piece of paper, didn't tell us what it was. And just out of curiosity in the test, I flipped it up, and it was all the names of the muscles that we were supposed to name. I closed it up real quick, and I didn't actually use the information. Well, I did on one of them because I remembered what it was, looking at it just briefly. But yeah, and she saw me do it, and she said something to me. I'm like, hey, look, man, you didn't tell us. And it's kind of poor planning on your part. And she agreed. I didn't get in trouble, but made me feel bad because I'm not a cheater. I don't do stuff like that. Okay, so we've got two like little gaming consoles here that came through. All right, Suzanne. Well, thanks for being here. And yes, she is home for now. She will be leaving tomorrow. And Hat would give me the chilies. I was only the guy in the class at the end. Oh well, Mrs. Chip, she don't want to come on camera. She's being antisocial today. In fact, she's wearing a shirt that says, "I don't give a," and it's got a rat with a leash around a donkey. So, tells you what kind of mood she's in today. And she really is wearing that t-shirt. No, actually, our kids have been antisocial the whole trip. Spencer said he wanted to meet up with us, and then I don't know what happened.
We made plans with friends.
Oh, Mrs. Chip said he made plans with his friends. So whatever, his friends are more important, and I'm perfectly okay with that. That is just his thing. And John says, due to my network engineering alphabet soup's acronyms, I was very adept at memorizing long names and flashcards. I bet she could rib you with her finger. She probably would. Don't give her any ideas, John. Oh, jeez, this thing does not want to. Oh, gosh. All grown up, no excuse. Well, yeah, he doesn't, but the kid seems to be full of them. What Greg also put down, do we have any plans for today? Yes, we do. The people next door have invited us over for dinner, so we will be headed over there for dinner. And they are an awesome older couple. They're retired. Well, she's semi-retired. She has a part-time job. He's fully retired, but they're good people. Just they're definitely the people you want to have as neighbors. And what's really kind of weird is she has a son who's just a couple years younger than me, and he really likes Lego just like I do. So every time he comes over here, we hang out in the shop. He sees the new Lego, and we talk shop. We talk Lego. All right. Well, we're doing the supports on here, so you must be getting close to throwing track on here. For some reason, I am short a piece. That's not cool. Did I accidentally leave it in here? I did not. Well, shoot. And I don't think I have any of them here. Oh, I do have one. All right. So I cleaned that out pretty well. Okay. Well, they shorted me a piece, but I have it here. And it's not a piece that I would just accidentally just misplace or anything. Yeah. Okay. So now we've got our first track. Was that Max?
Mm-hmm. You want pets every hour on the hour.
Yeah, I know.
Like every minute.
Anybody want a cat? He's free. I could sell him by the pound, but you wouldn't be able to afford him. Okay, so we've got the kind of spiral thing going on in the middle here, or through the building, I should say. Okay, and we just need a regular. Oh no, it continues. Okay. Well, I'm finding this set a lot of fun. I like the roller coasters. Like I said earlier, there's several of them that Lego's come up with. All right, we've got our last sticker to throw on here. Yeah, so there won't be much in the way of videos, live streams this coming week. In fact, there won't be any. Well, there might be a few videos because if I have time to tape them in advance, but there won't be any live streams this week, and that's because I will most likely be in Texas this week. So, Greg, you need to prepare Texans to know I'm going to be in town. No, I'm just kidding. You know what? I hate that. I was sitting here and I had this idea cross my mind, and I was like, I got up to do it out of this chair earlier, and I went over to do it at the computer, and I couldn't remember what it was, and it just came to my mind randomly. Of course, I can't share it with you guys because I'm not ready to share it. But Mrs. Chip, the clue to give me later on is the name Ryan.
Okay.
Cheddars. I want some cheddars right now. Cheddars is awesome, dude. You kidding me, dude? That's some good stuff right there. Me and Miss Chip went to Cheddars. Mm-hmm. Mrs. Chip tried getting me to go to this establishment called the Dollhouse, but anyway, don't need to say anything more about that. Mrs. Chip's ready to kill me. If she was Superman, the lasers would have burned through me already, but that's all right. I love this. This is like a giant controller that I'm building right here. Oh my goodness, how does that work? Oh man. Okay, wait a minute. I have an extra tile. And okay. All right, well, I don't have, okay. So in the inside of here goes this. And if we go to Texas, we're driving. Let me tell you something, man. That drive from Texas to Idaho is something else. The map right now says it's 21 hours and 1 minute. Sometimes it says 22 hours. I don't know what the difference is, traffic. But I don't know, man. If you guys ever look at the path from, there is not a whole lot. There's only a couple. You surprisingly, you don't go through too many big cities going from here to Texas. You do go through Lubbock, Texas, but the thing takes you around Lubbock, Texas, so you don't ever really see much as far as like buildings and stuff. And then there's Albuquerque, New Mexico, but it seems like every time, no matter when I leave, when I go through Albuquerque, New Mexico, it is like midnight or past. It's like really, really out there. Okay, so we have 2 more figures here. And then the last major city we go through is Salt Lake City, which, because we are only an hour from Salt Lake City and we start off early in the morning, I usually don't get caught in traffic there either. So, yeah, like I said, surprisingly, we go through not that many big cities, and we don't usually hit traffic. One of my favorite places we go through is called Zephyr, Texas. And that's because that song by Red Hot Chili Peppers, fly away on my Zephyr. And John says, I follow a YouTube truck driver that goes all over the West. Well, is his name Tim? Because I have a good friend, Tim, that's a truck driver, and I have no idea whether he has a channel or not. And I used to love it because Tim used to have his route. He was on a route for a while that brought him right through Malad once a week. And so we used to hang out and go to lunch once a week. Or sometimes I let him stay the night here because he would be right at his 10 hours. So, and 10 hours is all they can drive in a day, legally. His name is Calhoun. Okay, well, yeah, definitely not Tim, like you said. Okay. And I do like this new, well, it's not new anymore, but this 1x5 plate. As a kid, they never had it, and you always had to go with a 1 and a 4, or you had to go with a 2 and a 3 to get that. And sometimes structurally that didn't work out. So I was really happy when they came out with that piece. That was pretty cool. All right. Sorry, I'm getting sidetracked. I blame everything on Miss Chip. Everything. And we never did our podcast or live stream we talked about. At this point, I'm not sure if we're going to be able to get to it. Or maybe I'll bring my camera and we'll do that in Texas. We'll sit down in her lovely apartment and we'll cuss and discuss relationships. Believe me, it's mostly cussing. No, I'm just kidding. It's not even that bad. Never do that. Blame the significant other. Well, I'm only joking when I do it, most of the time.
At least you're honest.
But every time I do it, it's her fault. Oh, boy. I got to do this 3 times. That reminds me of the Austin Powers. Damn, 3 times. Anyway. Okay. I know you guys probably don't want to know this next thing I'm going to tell you, but it's what's going on right now. It smells right here because I have a dog 3 feet away from me sleeping who happens to be letting farts go. It's disgusting, man. I get it. Everyone's got to do it, but damn, really? Okay, so that's really weird. Why is this one different? I don't know. It just is different. Oh, because I did it wrong. Yeah. All right. Well, be grateful you can't smell it, John. It's not pleasant. And this is another one too, another piece that has come out fairly recently, within the last year or two. And it's a 3x3 macaroni tile, they call it. And they used to never have it, and it makes it really nice because now you can fill in between. And I heard a rumor that Lego, when the molds break or they no longer need them, they actually bury them in the factory floors and pour cement over them so that nobody can have access to it. That's what I've heard. I don't know if that's true. Oh, there we go. More pieces. His latest stream. Okay, for the Calhoun, the truck driver. Okay. I can't. I will tell you this: when I dump, she vacates the building. The hell. I mean, I love my dog Enzo, but he is weird. He does some of the strangest stuff in the world. Okay. Let's open the last bag here. Okay. Well, mostly what we got left is track work, and then we got to build the actual cars they ride into. But we're getting there, and well, that was weird. Did I not do that right? No, I did not do that right. And the great Miss Chip returns. Okay. I like these little. They did this with the giant red roller coaster to kind of secure things in between. Okay, so we've got this track and this one.
It's looking good, Mr. Chip.
Well, thank you, Mrs. Ship. Okay, so I'm going to set this aside for a second. Let's build this here. Oh, come on. There we go. So this right here is just going to be a very simple, it's a multiply times 3 thing. So there's not much to these cars. They're pretty simple, pretty straightforward. And then you just link them together. All right, car number 1's done. And car number 2's done. There we go. Okay, so there you have it. I'll move this within view so y'all can see this. This is set number 60421. And very simply, like most roller coasters, it starts off with a climb. And it doesn't have a brake, but it's supposed to stop right here. Let passengers on. It's got this Slurpee looking thing here. It's got the robot. It doesn't twist. I think it would have been cool if they could have made it twist, but okay, they don't. You have a game controller here. You've got a camera taking a picture of those people that are there on the track, and same with here. And you got gaming things here, a couple games, some advertisements. You've got a disc jockey station right up here. So you got quite a bit going on here, and this set retails for, I think it's right at $100. So it's not a bad deal at all. It's about 10 cents per piece. Thanks for being here today. I really appreciate it. Thanks for spending your Sunday morning with me. You guys be good to each other and stay safe out there, and I'll catch you on the next one.